Hey everybody, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today. Chances are if you're watching this, you already know who I am because you're probably a regular. And the reason I say that is because you're probably looking at the title of this video and wondering what the heck I'm about to say. So yeah, that's no clickbait, there's nothing misleading about it. My YouTube channel sucks. And that's one of the hardest things for me to admit because a lot of you folks might not know, I've had this channel since 2011. At the time, I was simultaneously running another channel. My original YouTube channel, which I started in 2009, was The Fight Nerd. It still exists out there. I covered MMA and all that kind of stuff. And I eventually started Nerd News Today, which at the time was called Nerdvolution, because I wanted to have a different outlet for other topics. You know, I was mostly covering MMA on that website, and I wanted to marry the other things I liked into what I was doing. So I started up this secondary channel. Didn't do much with it for quite a few years in the beginning. I think I started to do more with it, more likely 2013, 2014, but I don't think business really picked up for me in terms of me doing more here and really focusing on it until 2016 when I officially ended The Fight Nerd as well. So here I am now, 2020, and I gotta tell you guys, really in the last year in particular, I've had a huge uptick in my subscribers, and that's really thanks to not really anything I've done. In October 2019, I had 7,000 subscribers. And then New York Comic Con 2019 happened, and I got these Steven Universe videos up that has brought in a huge influx of traffic. It was a huge boom for me, and yeah, it since then has gained me a ton of views on those videos and a ton of new subscribers. At this point, by the time this video comes out, I may have hit 30,000, or I might just be still very close to it, but we're somewhere gaining on 30,000 at this point for subs. And that's really awesome. I should be way more excited for it, and I am very grateful for all the folks who've checked it out and given me the subs, because those numbers really do make a difference when you're trying to make videos and when you're trying to make an impact in the community. But at the end of the day also, it just bothers the heck out of me because I know those subs are not for what I'm doing here. Those subs are for the Steven Universe videos, and yeah, they don't translate to views for the things I'm actually putting real work into. And why that bothers me even more is because I've been doing this for quite some time. And you know, it's always been kind of a side thing, but in the last few years in particular, it's really become almost a full-time thing for me. Now, I don't really talk about my personal life outside of this, but I do have a full-time job out of this. I do have a full-time career. I work in post-production, I do video editing, I've worked for a lot of big companies, a lot of small companies, doing freelance things, full-time things. I've worked for a lot of different clients and a lot of different spectrums basically in the world of post-production. And beyond that, I also make my own films. I do documentary films. I've got a few on Amazon Prime. I'm gonna put some links below if you wanna check them out. But really, Nerd News Today has been all about me just kind of trying to have fun, talk about things I like, which is toys, comics, that kind of thing. But I've kind of gotten bogged down, especially in the last year in particular, and especially because of COVID. But you know, let's back it up for 1 second here. So at the end of 2019, start of 2020, I said I had some plans, and I wanted to make some changes. And you know what? I actually did. And partly because of COVID, which has affected everybody's videos, and in particular the way I do my videos, I started doing like almost a new video every day practically. I think for many weeks, you'd get 5 videos a week, sometimes 6, and in a few cases, there was a video every single day. And I've seen my views kind of slowly go up, but on the other side of things, I'm looking at other channels, and I don't want to name names because I don't want to feel like I'm sour grapes or I'm taking a dump on anybody's channel, but I've seen channels that started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even a year ago, and they've already hit that 100,000 subscriber mark. Why is that? What am I doing differently? What am I doing wrong? Well, there's a lot of things I'm apparently doing wrong here. And that's the really hard part for me to even make this video is I basically got to look you in the eye and tell you everything I'm doing is garbage and wrong. And before I really trash myself too deep here, you know, I do want to say that I'm very grateful to all the folks here who have stuck with me, who have been with me for a while now, the regulars who are out there. You know who you are. And again, you're probably the folks who are watching this video today. And it's you folks I've interacted with that I've seen that really are drivers for this. But I also know there's probably a good amount of silent viewers too who have been watching for a while and haven't said anything. Maybe they haven't been provoked enough to say something. I don't mean that provoke in the negative sense. I just mean maybe they haven't been engaged enough to want to say something, to want to give me some thoughts or comments. So I'm hoping that you quiet regulars are also watching today and are going to be able to say a few words to me by the end of this. So watching other channels explode with growth while watching me flounder or just kind of slowly make some waves, but really those waves are, again, for a separate thing that I had no real involvement in besides being there to film it, it's really discouraging. And really, since I came back in October, because I took a little bit of vacation for an operation I had, even though I had actually filmed a ton of videos in advance to make sure you guys had content, point being, by the time I came back in January to start moving things ahead again, you know, COVID came along, kind of kicked us in the butt, and that forced me to make some changes to how things are done here. And I think those changes have also been helpful too. I think that they've gotten more people to take a look at the channel. It seems I've reached people in a different way, so that's been a good thing. But you know, again, I've been doing this since 2011 for this channel in particular, and even if I say I've only been more invested in it and making it my primary YouTube thing since like 2016, still that's basically 4 years, getting close to 5 years now, where the numbers don't really match. And what that means is the numbers don't match the effort and the time I'm putting into these videos because, yeah, as I mentioned, I was doing for some of those weeks during COVID, 5, 6, 7 videos a week. And on top of that, a lot of you folks may or may not know, I also did start a podcast. That was one of the things I talked about at the channel update at the start of the year. I mentioned I wanted to start a podcast, and I did. I launched Trek Untold when the COVID pandemic broke out. It gave me an opportunity to actually start talking to all these folks, launch the podcast. As of now, I've got over 30 episodes in the bank, and we're going to keep going. This is a weekly podcast, but that podcast also is taking a lot of time out of my life. I basically spend at least a solid day, a literal work day, and sometimes 2, and oftentimes that can stretch into other days and combine with other people that I'm preparing for to do interviews with. I've got to do preparation. That preparation means watching the episode of Star Trek, doing as much research about the guest as possible so I can know about their career, looking at their work as much as possible so I can speak intelligently to them about their career and offer actual thoughts and insight and good questions that provoke them to give me good answers. It's a lot of work, and I know there's a lot of folks who run similar podcasts out there who don't do that. They don't go into these things, do much preparation. And it always bugs me that, it's almost disrespectful to the guests to go in there not knowing anything about their career or knowing just really only one thing about it. So, I'm a guy that likes to be prepared and do the research and do the due diligence to make sure that my guests feel respected and are given the honor they deserve, basically, for lack of a better word. And granted, I'm also a new podcast, and I'm offering a pretty unique service, but the problem is, again, because I'm spending a lot of time here on Nerd News Today doing the videos, I feel like I can't promote myself enough and promote the podcast enough because I'm really working my butt off on making something I think that's very unique and interesting. And once again, the listens are happening and they're coming. I'm getting viewers for it, but I would like it to be a little bit better too because I'm seeing similarly other podcasts come in who are doing things a little bit differently, and all they're doing is basically just general Star Trek banter, and they're getting way more social media interactions and probably more downloads too. So again, the big key word here is it's discouraging, and it's like, why am I still doing the same mistakes again and again? It's just, I want to use the word discouraging again because it is. I've been discouraged for quite some time doing this thing, and it's really hard to keep things up here. So this isn't going to be like some sob wah story, but yeah, I am pretty unhappy about the way things are. So what are the changes I'm going to make here? And it really says a lot about me if I'm basically making the same mistake 1,000 times and not making a change. And I feel like that's what I've been doing, so it's time for a change. What are we going to do to make this a better place for myself and for you? Because what I want to accomplish here with this channel is make sure I can have a life outside this channel to work on other projects. And even right now, again, during this pandemic, I started the podcast and I also started some ideas for other things I wanted to work on. And I can't do them because I'm just so busy doing statue reviews, doing toy reviews, getting the latest thing of the month or whatever. And I can't do that. And I know it's also a part of why my numbers aren't as good because I'm doing a few different things, but I'm doing toy reviews and I'm not buying every single toy in the line because that's just not how I operate. I'm not a completionist, and there's other channels out there, and I'm sure you probably are watching them where they're buying every single figure out there and they're giving you those reviews. That's not me. I don't want to do that. So what's going to be different? What's going to change? Well, I can tell you guys here for the rest of the year, the good news is not much is going to actually change because we filmed a ton of things in advance because that's just also how I operate. I like to have what's called evergreen content. And evergreen means it's content that can basically sit around for a while and be used whenever I want to do it. That's kind of what the purpose is, those ECW videos that you're seeing. Those have been all filmed in advance, and there's like another 10 of those things coming out. Actually, I think another 10 figure videos, and then there's going to be about 6 or 7 other things unrelated to figures. You have to wait and see. There's also a new series I'm going to launch related to Pro Wrestling toys. I don't want to reveal it yet, but it is something I looked at a few months back and I talked about doing, and so I'm doing it. So there's going to be a new review series as well of Pro Wrestling figures. So I basically have one weekly wrestling figure from now until I think at least February or March of 2021. We've also got Trek Back Tuesday. Those are evergreen videos. Same thing. I think we have videos from Trek Back Tuesday up until, I think, the end of December at this point. And we're going to do some more. Those things don't bog me down. I like doing those, and because they're evergreen, it makes me feel better about the channel constantly moving forward. We've also got Trek Back Tuesday. That's every week, but as I mentioned, that's a lot of work. You guys see it here on Sundays, but normally it actually is on Thursday when you can first listen to it when it drops on iTunes, Spotify, and all the other channels that are out there for it. So what do I want to do differently? What do I want to do to make the channel grow? Well, besides the evergreen content that's just kind of there, we're going to scale back for the rest of the year on toy reviews because that's the biggest thing that slows me down. And I love toys. I love looking at them. I love reviewing them. But it's taking my time away really from other things because think about what I'm doing here. It's a lot of time and effort to make these reviews for not necessarily a big return. And that return means basically having the views, getting the YouTube monetization. It's important for me because right now, especially with COVID and the way things are, my full-time job is kind of almost non-existent right now. Like there's not much work for what I do in my field. And if I'm going to go deeper into YouTube, which I have been doing the past few years, even while I had a full-time job, I really got to change things up to make it actually matter and make what my channel is matter more so. So a few years ago, I did some videos about comic books. those are coming back, and I want to do them in a different format as well. If you haven't ever checked out the series, that was the called You Should Be Reading series, and I think I did maybe 8 or 9 of those, I don't remember. They were fun, short little videos about comics. And I want to do more of those, but I want to really expand them and make them a little more informative. So those will come back maybe this year, more than likely in 2021 though. And there's a few other things I want to do here besides the toy reviews, because yes, you're still going to see toy reviews. I can tell you guys now, AEW figures are on the way, New Japan Pro Wrestling figures are on the way. I've got some other statues from Diamond Select coming in, but I'm not going to really be reviewing every single thing I get from now till the end of the year because I want to have time to focus on other things. And what those other things are I don't really want to reveal just yet. They also are going to involve a lot of work, and I need to have the time to do that. So the evergreen content's going to definitely fill the airwaves for a little bit while I work on those things. And I think this new thing that I'm going to do is going to become what I want the channel to be all about. Toy reviews are great. I think the comic videos I'm going to be working on are going to also be really, really good. I think you're going to like them a lot. I would like to do some more things about movies too. That might be a little bit down the line, but yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to do, it will be about toys. It's going to take me a lot of time to do them, and that's kind of the thing, is I want to make sure I have the time to do it. So yeah, because really I don't want my channel to suck anymore, and I'm really tired of telling people how much I'm annoyed at my channel and how it's just not doing anything for me. And I don't just mean numbers, I just mean creatively. It's, you know, like the big thing is, I think with YouTubers in particular, it's all about the personality, it's about what they're offering to you as a product, because videos are content and products, and that's unfortunate I have to look at it. I don't want to make a product, I don't want to make content, I want to make actual things of value and importance, and it's something that will be looked at for some time to come. So I have a lot of expertise and knowledge in different fields that I haven't brought to the channel yet, and that's what I want to do now, is I want to bring those thoughts to you. I want to put all those things I have in my head, I want to get it actually out there. And I know I'm being a little bit vague about what I'm working on. That's because I don't really like to put those ideas out there. You know, if you want to learn a little more about my personality, because I know that's what YouTubers like to do, is they like to talk about themselves. I don't like to talk about myself that much. It's just not a thing I like to do. I don't think the channel should ever really be about me. The channel should be about what we're looking at. And that's what's going to happen, is we're going to really focus a lot more on those things. But I think those things that I want to talk about are going to give me a chance to tell you a little more about who I am, what I like, and more about my personality. Because, yeah, it's been pretty bland for these videos, hasn't it? Like, you don't know a damn thing about me, and I don't know if you even want to know a damn thing about me. But I think it's time to actually show you guys who I am, who Matthew is from Nerd News Today. I'm not just a name I say at the end of the video. I have something to offer, and it's about time I actually give it to you guys. So yeah, this video is pretty tough for me to make right now, because I'm basically staring at the camera telling you guys some thoughts, and I'm still even holding back right now how I really feel about things, because yeah, you have no idea how much this has driven me crazy and giving me depression, all sorts of other things, and anxiety. Just think about this channel and how much I'm putting into it and what I'm getting out of it and what I'm doing and what I'm not doing that I want to do. And even beyond this channel, there are other things I have out there, as I mentioned. There's other projects I want to work on that are not Nerd News Today related. I want to have the time to do them, so I can't keep focusing on making the same toy videos that no one's going to watch. So before I keep rambling on, basically the point of the matter is things are going to change because I don't want to suck anymore. I don't want this channel to suck anymore. I want to have viewers out there who I know are regulars be excited for what we're doing, because you're going to still like what's coming out next. And I want the folks who are silent to also come out, because they're going to really also like what I'm doing. And I want to cultivate a new audience that's going to appreciate what we're working on and help really grow what I'm doing, because I want to hit that 100K mark. Other channels have already found their niche, their market. They know what they're doing. They know who they are. And I haven't done that yet. I need to basically put that out there now. I need to put myself out there and grow this thing the way it's meant to have been growing from day one. So the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to actually take a step back for a little bit. And I don't feel so bad doing this, because I know one of the guys who really was an inspiration to me was James Rolfe from Cinemassacre, the Angry Video Game Nerd. You know, he's been doing James and Mike Monday for like 8 years nonstop, and they're taking a break from that for at least 6 months, if not more. And you know, the fact that he's willing to take a break, that's kind of saying something to me too. If he's taking a break to reformat things and look at what he's doing, yeah, I need to do the same thing. I think I also need to probably get a haircut, because I've had this COVID hair for like 5 months now. So yeah, it's about time I get a proper trim. So that's basically the plan, folks. To summarize, you're going to still have plenty of videos for the rest of the year, because I've made so many, and there's going to be other time-sensitive videos like those New Japans, those AEWs, maybe the UFC figs if I get those. A bunch of other things I'm going to have too, because I like toys, and I'm going to still talk to you about them. But I'm not going to review every single thing, and we're going to definitely scale back on something so I can have time to work on Trek Untold more and to work on these other videos I'm doing, because they're going to happen in 2021. I just don't know when in 2021, because they're really big, and I have high hopes for them, I guess. I'm really stressing myself out a lot just even thinking about them, because they're a lot of work. But if I can pull it off, it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really unique and different, and I'm going to offer something that's maybe been seen before, but not in the way I'm going to do it, because this is how I operate. And you know, if you listen to the Trek Untold podcast, that's kind of a little glimpse of the kind of way my mind works and how deep I go into things, and how deeply I go into subjects that I'm passionate about. So it's about time I actually brought it to the channel proper and yeah, let myself grow. Let myself grow the way I'm supposed to be growing. And I hope that you're going to stick around to grow with me because I've got big plans for myself. I need to start actually making them happen. So meanwhile, to all you regulars out there who've been watching, thank you so much for the support through the years. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you for subbing, and just thank you for commenting and talking to me and letting me know what you think about toys and what we've been doing here. I want to know what you guys have thought about this channel and what we've done for the last few years also. Let me know what you've liked and what you thought has not worked for me either. And again, for those silent viewers out there as well who have been watching but have never thought to say anything, why haven't you been engaging with us? Let me know what I've been doing wrong that hasn't gotten you to want to actually comment on things. And again, shout outs to all the folks who have been working with me. That's Rich from RageWorks, that's Vinny, and of course Andrea. I can't enough to thank her for all the work that she's put into the channel too, and having to deal with me whining about how much I've just been unhappy with how things have been going on the channel, and she's had to hear pretty much the brunt of it. If you think this video is long and rambly, imagine me doing this every single day for the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. So yeah, that's how long I've been thinking about something like this, and it's about time I actually do it. So folks, I'm Matthew. This is Nerd News Today, but not for much longer. This was Nerd News Today of 2020. Nerd News Today in 2021, it's time for a change. It's time to shake things up. It's time to actually be myself more. So stay tuned. There's more to come. There's big things on the horizon, and it's time to make Nerd News Today the channel I've always wanted it to be.